Okay, good evening, men. Thank you for giving up a little bit of your furlough evenings, joining me for to talk about the season that Lowestoft were promoted to Conference North. I guess for the fans who have been following in recent years, this is probably one of the most significant points in the club's history and in their supporting years. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty to tell that went on behind the success on the pitch. So if we are lucky enough, I think we will be joined by Eags at some stage, but he's probably halfway right through a marathon somewhere on the Suffolk coast, so we might get away with it. Right, gents, Terry Lyons has provided me with a fact sheet. You're going to have to help me through this one because I had hung them up. So what's your first thoughts then in regards to this season?
First thoughts, blimey. It's a while ago now, Ren, so it's a tricky one. First thoughts, I think it was a bit of a slog. I mean, I had a little look at some bits and pieces, but it was a tough season. I think who came down? I think Billericay came down. Maidstone came up from Dulwich as well. That's it. It was a tough league and a long season. I think we had a load of injuries as well, and obviously on the back of like 3 playoff losses, or the third, certainly obviously the third coming into that season, it was just like, lads, you know, I think we had the majority of the same kind of squad and team. But it was like obviously the first thing was picking your chins up and what have you, and then trying to crack on. But I just remember obviously having a lot of injuries and it just being a tough league.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I actually think that year we weren't as good as the year before. Before, obviously Whitehawk ran away with it, and I actually think we had so many games that first season the year before. We were playing Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and if we weren't playing that, I think we would have won the league. And then the season we went up, I think we were struggling at one point, and I remember like there was a feel of we'd been written off, and I actually think that drove us on to get into the playoffs. And then once we'd got into the playoffs, I don't think we were ever going to lose. Really, we were hard to beat, and we knew how to win. It just became a bit of a habit, like. In that team, walking out, you were looking around. I was looking around, and I just thought, even if we went 1-0 down, I just thought, like, we're still going to win. Like, it doesn't matter. We're going to come back. We're going to get something. It was just, I don't know, just an air of confidence about us.
Obviously, Jarv, you joined like midway through, didn't you?
I joined October, so I missed the first 2 months. And
was it October?
Boys, something like that, yeah. You boys were struggling, so I thought I'd come and help you and save the season, really. So it was a tough year. I think we were like probably 10th or something like that up until like even in January. And then I think from January onwards, I think we had like, was it something like a 17-game undefeated run or something like that?
Well, Terry sent through this, and I guess for him to mention it, it must have been significant in the places you got clawed back in the league. You had a late run of 6 wins, 3 draws, and 1 defeat in your last 10 games, which kind of brought you up to 4th, which is where you finished the season. So, to be fair, Jarv, if you joined October and you were only 2 appearances shy of what Fiskey managed to make for an entire season, and you still outscored him. So
that's hard. With my bookings and my record, that's not hard. Don't give him any praise for that. But so, I remember. Do you remember? Like when you say, Curly, like we were struggling, and obviously we weren't as good as performed as well as the season before. I think it was Grays away. Like where it was obviously coming towards the end of the season, we were out of the playoff places. It was like they were down there, and it was like a must win. Like we had to go there, get a win to obviously keep us in with a shout of getting in the playoffs. And I think it was 1-1.
I think we drew 1-1.
And like after the game, I think it was just like obviously lads were just like, kind of blown it. That was it. But we kind of thought we might as well just go out there, remaining games and just give it like a good go, which obviously we did. Clawed away back in.
To be fair, I mean, obviously that was my first season that I'd gone, and having been there the 3 years before, always right up the top, like years where you probably should have gone up automatically, but you've had to settle for playoffs, and we always seem to go into those 3 years of playoffs. When you look back at the games and the finals, I think one was Hornchurch. That was Hornchurch away. There was obviously the Canby one, which was the year before. I can't remember who was in the middle.
Concord.
Concord, sorry. And I can't remember which one was in the middle, but we're always up in the top, always going to be in the playoffs as a minimum, and probably could have won the league some years. So the difference probably was actually having a bit of momentum and not just the last handful of games, you're just playing them out, going, right, let's just see where we end up. Who do we get? Are we at home? Are we away? So the fact it was a must win, do you think that helped your momentum in the sense of getting the job done eventually?
Yeah, I think I'd say so. I think we went into the playoffs and we didn't really care who we were going to get. And I think we had Bognor, didn't we, in the semis? And to be honest, they're probably one of the best teams in the league. But we went there and
Knocked us, didn't they, in the league?
Yeah.
3-0. They absolutely tore us a new one. And when we got them in the playoffs, I think had nothing to lose. So I was just watching. But best performance I've seen that the boys ever put in. It was unreal. Like Kurt scored the winner?
No, he scored the first.
Yeah.
Haynes Brown first, Reedy with the second.
Where's Reedy? Why have we not got Reedy on it?
Oh, can't trust that kid.
Yeah,
I didn't want to have to spend the editing censoring it.
I didn't think that's why Glees didn't get the call up.
I think that would be a completely different subject with Glees, wouldn't it? But
yeah. That Bognor game, though, yeah, Kurt, that was literally, when I think of obviously like games, good games that within the past, obviously, that I played in, Bognor games well up there. Like as a team performance, like literally from one to another, everyone was bang on it.
Yeah. And considering how they gave us that slapping, and I mean, they turned us over, didn't they? They had that fat striker who scored a hat-trick in like 10 minutes or something. And
that wasn't long before either, was it?
It weren't. No. Was that? That wasn't a midweek game, was it? When we went down there and got beat up.
No.
Was it a Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. I think.
I remember Guffey drove down, didn't he? And he got hammered driving down, and that was a bit of a stinker. I hope it's new.
That's being nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Worst 15 minutes I've ever seen.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, that's I mean, Bognor, they've always played the same way, haven't they? They've always been a football team, and I guess what's difficult, what's easy to remember for us because it's most weeks, but the distance between Bognor and Lowestoft. I mean, you need everything to go right about the journey, don't you, to Bognor, let alone when you get there and put in a shift. So, to talk through that game, were you one down? How did the scoring go in that?
Yeah, we went one down. I think it was Guffey's fault again. I say I didn't help him out. I remember nodding the ball back to him, putting him in a bit of trouble, and then I think he's gone to play it back to Ash Jones. But the guys nipped in and then just tucked it away. So yeah, I can't blame him, totally. But yeah, they went one up within I think it was 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it was early doors, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Go on. And what are you thinking then? I guess you've had, like Kelly said, you've had your slap 3-0, the score after 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, here we go again.
You've just gone or what? You've just travelled to Bognor.
That was a Tuesday or Wednesday, wasn't it? That was midweek.
Yeah.
That was midweek,
Yeah.
To be fair though, like we said, just regrouped and just said, look, we've put this good run towards the end of the season to get into the playoffs. We can't just turn it down now. Like, we're gonna have to really get together and go again. And like, fair play to everyone. And we did that. I think did he score just before half time? Is that, or am I thinking wrong?
It was first half, yeah.
First half, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know whether it was too far after their goal.
Oh right, maybe not.
I can't remember, but yeah, he equalised, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Reedy late on, like 10 minutes to go, I think.
Terry Lyons' research doesn't give me minutes of goal, so I will feed that back into it. So obviously that's your late run and you got to the semi. But I guess throughout the season, who were your standout players? And do you remember roughly your record? Any of you? You finished fourth, as I said earlier, but.
I'd probably say Fisky, me, and Kurt, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, as no one's here to argue it, why not? So, you said you got injured. To be fair, you three probably had enough time talking to each other. Fisky 38, Rossi 36, and Kirtley 36. So, would you all plan the same suspensions or something?
Well, I think I was a good boy.
I think I had a little holiday at the start of the season as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so. So that would help.
Like a red card holiday or a holiday?
Nah, just proper holiday. But yeah, Flem weren't too happy, I don't think. But
so going back to stand-up performers, did we lose Bear the year before, or did we lose him that year? We lost him the year before, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because then Reed came in halfway through as well, didn't he, that year? Because his first game was Maidstone away. And I remember really... Oh, Ammo turned it around for us.
Well, Bamo came in as well, didn't he? Yeah.
Signing a
He
Bamo.
came in January, didn't he?
Yeah. Did he come in January?
I think he came in January, didn't he?
Yeah, it was different class when he came in. I'm trying to think who else there was.
Well, Jack Ainsley, I think, came that year, didn't he? Because obviously we lost Bear.
At the start of the year, Jack was there.
Yeah. Because he started, I remember Dulwich away, he started up top, didn't he? He was like our main striker. Yeah. And then in the end, I think he then finished up at right back.
Yeah.
Or right wing.
I'm sure he was right mid at some points, because I'm sure he was in front of me. And I think Hendo would have been on the left. But then, obviously, when I got injured in that last game of the season, I want to say, I forgot what the team was. I think Jack played right back for...
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So looking through some of the names, obviously I know a lot of the lads who were there the year before, but Jack Ainsley must have joined. That would have been, like you said, the year Bamo came. Crane must have started the season and then gone. He made 4 appearances.
Yeah,
he left actually. Just turned up, I think.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there, but yeah, off he went.
Brewery was already there. Curtis Haynes Brown, Hendo, Rossi, you were obviously fairly fresh. Ashley Jones had obviously come in. Manny Asay.
Manny, yeah.
Was Woodsy there?
He played 9 games. So I don't know whether that was injury or.
Did he come in that season then? Start of that year.
Yeah, I never played with him the year before, so he would have been in at some point that season, whether it was early doors and injured or not. Lee Smith, obviously I was there when Smudge was there, but he didn't play much by the looks of that.
Do you know, going to stand-up performers, I know he's a mate of mine, but Sam Guffey was unreal in some of them games. Like, heading was just the amount of pressure he'd relieve on, like, off us. So long balls, obviously at that level, I don't really remember him getting beat in the air. And I know he gets a lot of stick. I know we've given him but like that season,
what does he get stick about, Kurt? Go on, you out him.
Like his legs, he's actually quite quick, but he looks slow as shit. And maybe sometimes he panics on the ball and just banana foots it off the pitch. But that year he was solid, and a lot of our clean sheets obviously came from him. Who was he centre back with? Like, I know I played there a bit, but
Glees, I
Glees.
presume Curtis played left back a lot.
Well, again, at the start of the season, we started with like 4-1, was it? But then that soon got Glees was like just in front of the back four.
Right.
But then that didn't work. I think we had a bit of a slow start to the season, and then Glees went back to centre half, I think, with Gorgs.
Yeah.
And then Kurt left back, and then you obviously right back, I think.
And then Jonesy as well. Like he came in his distribution. I think that gave us something else, like with his sidewinders. There were so many players, like Ertz coming in, like fucking engine, and then get me going. Big enough. When I used to put a tackle in, that used to get me going, and that used to raise my stamina. I used to buzz off it. Seeing them fly in, take someone up 2-footed. That used to get me pumped.
That's all I could do, Kurt.
Nah, not even.
But now Erks was, I think the year before, he was unbelievable, wasn't he? Like, he was chipping in with goals like left, right, and centre.
Kingstonian away when like the half volley into the top. Like, he had that spree where he was fucking incredible.
Yeah, he was decent. But I think Eags from the, I don't know whether was he there the year before? Eags was with us the year before, wasn't he? Because I think it was. I don't know whether he was with us the whole year. But then Concord, the playoff final before, obviously the year before, he was better. He wasn't used, and I remember he was fuming like with that. And then obviously I think he just went away, had a good summer, and came back. And I think he was very good that year.
Yeah, he was right there up there on appearances. So you had Jack Ainsley 52 appearances. Eags on 51, Gorgs on 50, and then you start to get into your 40s, the likes of Glees, Fruey. I mean, Fruey had his critics from his time at Lowestoft, but you knew what you were going to get with Fruey, didn't you? Hendo 42. So there's, I mean, you say you got your injuries, I guess but there wasn't a huge amount of players used through the year, to be fair.
No.
So, I guess the squad was small, and you just had to ride out the injuries. And probably, I'd imagine, looking at the names and the list, that when you had injuries, it's just a kid youngster chucked on the bench and travelled along, but the minutes were just shared amongst the senior boys. So saying
that as well. Going back again to the start of the season, like when you think about Smudge, like he wasn't. I don't think he was even on the bench. Like Dulwich away, he was in the stands. So, like, thinking obviously we had like maybe a smaller squad or whatever, still a ridiculously strong squad to begin with. Like with Smudge not even on the bench.
For that level, the squad was a joke.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was nuts.
But for I guess for the years gone by, and I know Kurt and Fiskey is probably you were there previous, but each year that the squad was always strong enough to go up. In reality, I mean, I remember you had the likes of when Holty was there, you had Forbesy join, Dean Sinclair in there, obviously Scotty Mitch, Knowles, who else has played over the years? Defty. I mean, there were. It changed every year, a handful of players. But what do you think made that squad? What did that squad have? Because, like you said, the league didn't get any easier. And some of the teams in it that didn't get any easier. So what was it that squad had, do you think? And this is where Rossi chips in and says him, but
I wasn't going to say it, to be honest, Renz, but I just think the togetherness and the real focus we had because of I say failures like the previous years. Obviously, I wasn't there, but even when I came in and just listened to the lads, they were devastated for the last 3 years. And I think it was just that drive and focus that this year was going to be the year that we were going to get promoted.
Yeah, so that year compared to my first year is like going back to people were writing us off Like I think there was a lot of like talk amongst the fans and like in the press and whatnot, and even in the league, like teams we were playing against, they'd written us off, and I think that actually brought us together, and we just went out there and just stuck together, just ended up making the playoffs, ended up beating Bognor, and we got the home tie, didn't we? Because we ended up fourth. I think fifth beat third or whatever. So the two teams that finished bottom of the playoffs, like we both beat the teams that finished above us, and then we got the home tie, and it was just meant to be, like, without being cheesy.
written in the stars.
Yeah.
So what about from a management perspective then? Because I guess you're still at Aidan Chapo and Flem there. Dave Carolan, was he involved in the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but was this the year he went, or was it the year after that Dave went?
Year he went.
That was the year he went, you think, Jav?
I think it was, yeah.
Or like halfway through?
Yeah, just after Christmas, I think he left.
So how did the management go about this year, this particular season? Then I guess with it, because those three failures would have hurt. I mean, Aidan Chapo at the club for years. Chapo in himself is an institution of the club. So how did that impact them, do you think? And going into another playoffs, it can go one or two ways, can't it? You can go too far and kind of worry too much about what's gone on before. How did they approach this year and the failures and then the playoffs?
Don't really think much different to the years gone by, really. I think obviously we, try to learn from the experiences and what have you. But there was a number of players obviously that were brought in which obviously didn't have any experience of years gone by and what have you. So I think it was just a case of trying to move on as quickly as possible, try and forget obviously about what had happened previously, and just keep to obviously their mantra of football and obviously their way of managing, and just try and kick on again, stay positive, stay together, work hard. And that was that, and the boys just took to that.
Yeah. Looking back now, I didn't really appreciate their style. Like, that sounds bad, but I quite underestimated how good they were, because they didn't panic on the side. And then obviously when I've then gone on to other teams, I've noticed management like on the sideline go 1-0 down, they're panicking. I never got that sense of panic like from them. So when I was on the pitch, I never felt like they were panicking. Where then I've been with other clubs, and I'm not going to name names and whatnot, and it's just been, you go 1-0 down, you're not playing well, and I sense they're panicking, and it's like filtering into the team a little bit, and then like the passes start going astray, and that filters down from the top. We didn't have any of that from them. Like Chapo got us pumped up, AD come in at half time, and Flem was just very tactical, and I think we all knew our jobs. Like we all knew what we were doing, and we stuck together. But like going back to the whole panicking, they stayed calm. I know Chapo's passionate.
Yeah, when Chapo's slapping his head on the side of the pitch.
I was going to say, I'm not sure there'd be many people say that Chapo's calm.
Yeah, calm
Yeah.
In his way.
Like, yeah.
He wasn't panicking, but he definitely wasn't calm. Jav, I mean, as Chapo's come up, having sat there for 10 years myself, and the introductions and such variety in his methods of introducing new lads to the dressing room. What was yours? What was your first point? You sat there and watched Chapo went, what on earth is going on here?
It's comical, really, because being like playing in the league and stuff like that, and playing under probably 10 managers or whatever in my time, it was just something totally different. I've never experienced anything like it. And even though, like, obviously I knew a few of the lads there beforehand, and they like gave me a little quiet word and just say, just be prepared for his team talks and stuff like that. But I couldn't believe my eyes, like some of the team talks, and it just baffled me. I was just like, what is this guy doing?
I I used to love that. Like literally, when like a new player came into the change room, everyone would sit back and just like literally like watch them, just their reaction to Chapo.
It was comical. It was funny. Like, and I don't know whether, like for me personally, he didn't ever get me up for the game, but he made me really relax for the game. So, like, I'm quite a laid back chap anyway, but like he just took my mind off things, and he was just like, yeah, just made me chuckle. And then I just went, yeah. And then I used to go out and just be ready for the game. But everyone deals with him in different ways. But yeah, he's a funny character. Funny character. That's all I can say, really.
He used to make you feel good, didn't he? Before the game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He did used to make you feel good, and he just some of the comments he used to make just obviously you can't repeat them. Certainly not on here. But yeah, he was a good manager to play under, to be honest.
He was. I think the one thing you speak to, I guess I was fortunate to go through some of the transition from being a more local competitive side to a side that sort of started to climb the leagues, and the different levels of players that we were attracting. But I think the one thing that everyone had in common, really, you'd play for him, wouldn't you? You would you would play for him. You understood what the club meant to him, and he's probably one of. I can't remember. You see ding dongs happen on the training pitch in change rooms all the time, but can't remember ever being with him. Can't remember anyone having any issues with him, and likewise him with anyone else. So yeah, what a character. Like you say, you could probably write a book on some of the team talks, but you probably couldn't share them on air.
What a book that would be as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be on the top shelf. So, how was what was the preparation? So once you'd got through, I guess you got through the season, you've got your momentum, you're going towards playoffs. Did you do anything different? Was there breakfasts? Was there like a stop on the way? How did the club, how did management, you guys all prepare for playoffs, or was it very much you were in that cycle of winning games and turning up and doing it how you'd been doing it, so they just left it alone?
I think for the Bognor, we went down early, I think, on the midweek, and we stopped off at a hotel and had pre-match at a hotel, I think. So we done things slightly different. It just gave us prepared slightly better. Gave us everything we needed, really, for the semi-final. But yeah, in terms of preparation, in terms of what we're doing in the change room and getting ready in training and stuff, that didn't change because we had the momentum. So the training didn't change, team talks didn't change. It just carried on.
Okay, and then Hornchurch at home. How did you get on against Hornchurch that season? What was the general feeling about it being Hornchurch?
They'd just come down, hadn't they? I think the season before. So obviously we knew that I think had they been there, or obviously they obviously won promotion against us, didn't they? So they'd been there for a couple of years, then came down. Yeah. If I'm honest, I don't think we really feared them. There weren't any kind of worry or anything like that. It was just, again, trying to, it was another game, obviously another big game. But I don't think we feared them. They had obviously just snuck in, I think, as Curtly said. But yeah, it was just another big game. Just try to obviously to win it on the day.
I can't remember the league games against them.
Not the league games, no.
So, who did you all have there then? So it's 2,697, so nearly 2,700 people there. Who was there for you all? Everyone? No one? What?
My missus was heavily pregnant.
Go on, Kurt. Sorry, lad.
Yeah, I understand. My missus was there, she was massive. She was about to drop. So we had our twins a couple of months after, 2 months after that, or whatever. I was in the stand when I with my shoulder in a sling. My dad was there getting pissed with the fans. I think Malachi might have been there. I think he might have been there.
Yeah.
I think he might have been there. Yeah, and then that was it. Yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah, I had my mum, my dad, my wife, kids, and I think my best mate came as well. So yeah, I had a few, but which was nice to have them there.
There was definitely more than 2,700 there though.
Keezer pulled a fast one, isn't he?
It was a Gary Keezer 2,700.
Yeah.
So Fisco.
Yeah, just all my family came down for the 4th time. They thought, not again.
Yeah.
See him lose again.
Got a text that morning. Should we really make the effort?
Yeah.
Should we do something different just to see if it works?
But luckily they came along.
Turn up. Bear was there, wasn't he? Bear came to watch us.
Yeah.
Sure he was there.
Yeah, Bear was there.
I can't remember myself what I can't remember that year what I was doing. I just remember being involved in some sort of football because I was someone was telling me the score as they were going in, but to be honest, I don't think I saw a Lowestoft game for about 3 years, and never saw that following season after I'd finished, and never saw any of the games in the Conference North. So I just remember someone somewhere telling me the scores as they were going in. But how was the game? When did you know it was won as such? I mean, 3-0 for a playoff final game, and the goals, you didn't have to wait too late in the game for them, did you? So when did you get that feeling of, yeah, we've got it today?
I personally think when the first goal went in, I thought we knew. Well, I thought I knew it straight away. I thought this is definitely going to be the day. To be honest, every man was bang at it again. From the first whistle, I just felt really comfortable that day.
Nah. Nah, literally, as I think Curtis's goal when his went in, then I was like, now we can relax, I think, and enjoy it. But obviously, that's just previous experiences.
Yeah. So Eads was first, that got you going, and then one from Reedy, and then Curtis. What was the? I guess what were the feelings? Because Curtis won 3-0. I mean, being on the other end of playoff goals that go in against you, you must have sensed that they almost gone, yes, not today. What was the feeling like then? What was the atmosphere around the ground like? Because I guess, like you, Fisky, most of them supporters would have been there the previous years and dared not think of it yet. But was that when the party started as such?
I think so. Yeah, it was just relief, I think. I just remember celebrating, like literally him going wild and everyone just piling on top, and it was just like, surely, yeah, that's job done. I don't think Horns, they didn't really turn up on the day anyway, did they? So yeah, I think as that one went in, it was just like, yeah, job done, let's enjoy it. That's how I felt.
What were the celebrations like then? When the final whistle went.
Mental.
Yeah, was it pitch invasion?
Yeah,
it certainly was.
Yeah. Absolute free for all, wasn't it? Family, fans, everyone's just everywhere. It was class.
I just got an image of my dad picking up Chapo and having him on his shoulders. there's a picture somewhere of my dad just having Chapo on his shoulders, and I just remember cracking up, obviously, with my shoulder. One of the fans tried jumping on me and nearly fucking popped it out again. But yeah, it was just carnage.
It must have been just a great feeling, like that relief. You said. I mean, I remember what was my final game the year before, when the Concord fans pile on the pitch, and obviously they pile past the goal and they're celebrating in your face, and there's no worse feeling than 40 odd games coming to a head and the people just dancing on the pitch. But equally, when it happens the other way, there's nothing like it, is there?
Nah.
And how were the fans for the year? Because that's the hell of a gate, and I appreciate it's a one-off game. But when I look at the attendances, when you don't include the playoff final, they're like nearly 500 every week. So it was obviously a time, a period of 4 or 5 years where the club was really, really well supported with numbers every week. What were the fans like through the season? Did you feel like in the low points that they either picked you up, or did you feel like they were frustrated at the lack of kind of not being at the same heights as early in the season as previously? What part did they have to play?
I thought they were good. Don't get me wrong. There was, like the boy said earlier, we probably didn't play sometimes as well as you had previously, but we were grinding out results. So when we didn't play well, we were grinding out results, and that's a sign of a good team. You're picking up 3 points. You're picking up a point away from home when you haven't played well. And like you said, after 40 odd games, comes the end of the season, you're sitting in the playoffs, and that is why. And so yeah, they were good. I think they really understood. Obviously, the team was still going places. Yes, it's been disappointment over the last 3 years, but we were still in and around it. And then, like I said, when we got on that little run towards the end of the season, I think the fans then could actually feel that it like something could happen again. So they really got behind us, and I thought they helped. And then get that gate in the final was incredible. The support was incredible.
Yeah, I just echo that really. To be fair, they've always really, been behind us. You hear the odd shout now and again from the sideline, trying to block those out. But other than that, they're
usually you get a yellow in it. Not another one, fish.
Usually, yeah, that's my dad. Yeah. But they've always been behind us, haven't they? So it was a tricky year, but like Jarv said, rolling into the playoffs, I think the belief was there. So it was positive. It was positive. It's always been a pretty positive place to be around.
Good. And then I guess what was it? Night out? Was it planned end of season trip? There was an open top bus one there at some stage.
Obviously Eves was meant to be here, wasn't he? But Jarv, like Kurt, were you in the clubhouse like to the early hours, like after the game?
No, I was in there for a little while, but not that late.
No,
not after the
Not
game.
with pregnant missus.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But that like literally straight after the game, like fans in there, like a handful of the players, wasn't it? I just remember Eags, like literally.
It's coming back to me about Eags now.
Yeah.
Like sliding along the.
There you go. Yeah. Like literally stripped off, naked, sliding along the clubhouse floor, doing the okey cokey naked. It's brilliant. Classic Eags.
To be fair, he ain't got to won the playoffs to get naked on the night out, has he?
No.
But yeah, we had a little bus tour around Lowestoft, didn't we? Open top.
Yeah.
That was bloody freezing.
It was.
Got the treatment. Did it take you around the outskirts of town to get into the town centre?
Don't know where we went. Yeah.
Open top, the runners-up open top bus tour that we got after the Vars took us around the outskirts, like driving down the road 40 miles an hour just to get to somewhere with people. And I guess what was when you came back for pre-season, obviously the preparing for Conference North, a completely different animal. I guess what was that preparation like coming off the back of a playoff? So having, like you said, Fisky, you started the season trying to pick yourself up after another kick in the playoff final to actually being on the other end of that. How easy was it getting back into pre-season for Conference North? And then to what level did that pre-season have to go up for what lied ahead?
I think for me, it was a bit like, I think, well, for all the lads, it was like, obviously, we're keen to get started again. But for me, it was like a relief not having to do the same journeys to the same grounds and what have you for for fifth time running, what have you. It's obviously exciting. There was a buzz about the place and what have you, and all the lads, were just excited for the season to get started, new adventure and what have you. Fans were obviously excited, and I just pre-season. I can't remember too much about the next pre-season, but just obviously there being a buzz about the place.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously we didn't have much of a break because obviously the playoffs obviously goes on a lot later than the season, so probably only had 4 or 5 weeks off, and then we're back in. So like Fisky said, I think everyone was eager to get back. Like we just achieved something the club had never achieved. Like this is the highest that we were going to be playing. I think it was a little bit of a mess to be honest to start with, because I think we were meant to be in the south, and then it got changed like late on, and we got moved to the north. So that's a bit of a kick in the teeth in terms of obviously knowing that a lot of travelling. But at the same time, there's some massive clubs in the league, so there's going to be some really nice big stadiums to go to, and yeah, it was a good year, exciting time.
Curtly wouldn't have known about that, would you?
He buggered off.
Yeah, off he went.
It's too big for us now.
Yeah.
That worked out well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, mate. It did.
Where was your move, Curtly?
To my uncle. My uncle still signed me for Luton. So yeah, my uncle still. Yeah, no. To be fair, one of my regrets is that I didn't get that season in the Conference North. Like in hindsight, I wish I could have had that season in the Conference North with the boys, with the travelling, and then got a move. Obviously, I didn't have a choice in the matter. I had kids on the way, and it was there, and I had to. It's what I wanted to do. I had to take obviously the deal at Luton, but I wish I'd have got that season in the Conference North, especially after getting promoted with the boys. I don't know. It would have been good to battle with those big clubs in the north and with obviously the boys, and like weren't meant to be.
No. Okay. Well, no, that's brilliant. So, go on then. If you could do one thing that season, again, one moment from that season, what's your highlight? What's the one thing you'd want to do? Is it the actual playoff win itself? Was it the semis and the Bognor Regis?
For me, yeah. I mean, you can't beat obviously the final, but other than that, like the Bognor game just always sticks out. Like I say, as a all-round performance and what have you. And I think that obviously then kicked us on for the final, and picked the confidence up and what have you, and we went into the final just full of it. So for me, it would be, I think, that Bognor, going away on a Tuesday night to Bognor and picking out a result, going 1-0 down for 10 minutes, and then performing like that. I think just set the tone for the final. So yeah, I'd say Bognor.
Yeah, I've got to echo that. I think the Bognor game stands out massively to me. I thought the performance was outstanding from every person on the pitch, off the pitch. Attitude, support, performances was different class. I think I had a bit of a pop at the chairman actually after that game.
You did?
Yeah, I think I did, because Bognor's pitch was amazing, and I just said to him, I said, imagine what we'd do if we had a pitch like that at home. We'd be battering teams left, right, and centre. So I don't think it went down too well though.
Not like you to moan, though, is it?
Nah, not at all.
Where would you come from that season, Rossi?
Well, originally, I left Cambridge the season before, and then I went over to Australia and played over there for 3 months. And originally, I was meant to be going back in January, so I came back home middle of September, And to be fair, I spoke to a few of the lads and I spoke to Flem, and he said, "Well, why don't you come and play with us and just keep fit and like help us for a few months before you go back to Australia?" And then the other half, the wife, she made a decision, and she didn't really think that was right to move the kids over there and stuff like that. And so I kind of had to agree with her. So we stayed, and then obviously I ended up signing until the end of the season in the end. So, and to be honest, like I've done a few things in my career, but I must admit that's got to be up there with one of the best I've done, just because of the group of the lads we had, and I probably grew up with like probably 4 or 5 of them as well. So to achieve something with some like mates which I've grown up with is one of the best feelings I've had.
Brilliant. No, that's probably a good place to finish. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, your stories, and telling it all again. I'm sure the supporters and anyone else who listens will enjoy those moments, and hopefully they'll come again soon. So thank you very much.
No problems. Cheers for having us.